Okay, hey everybody, this is Mr. C of Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy. Welcome my high schoolers, 9th grade through 12th grade. Sorry I wasn't here last week. I was feeling a little bit under the weather, but I'm definitely 100% better now. So I'm so glad to be here and I'm glad that you guys are with me. So here we go. I'm just going to grab my ukulele and it's time for Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy jingle. If you know it, sing along. Here we go. Time for school, time for music, time to learn together, we can do it. Learning is fun with Mr. C, and learning is fun, everybody. Welcome once again, high schoolers, 9th grade, 10th, 11th, and 12th. It is time for your music lesson. And so now the last time that we actually met was way back in El Paso, Texas, when I was in El Paso, Texas for vacation, and we got to learn about mariachi music. So now we're just going to kind of move on to something a little different, definitely a little different from before that when we were doing chords, writing chords and recognizing them and being able to know the root, the third, and the fifth, and everything. Hopefully my Patreon members were able to do that worksheet. But now we are going to be doing our core lesson for today is we're going to get into piano basics. Yes, that's right, piano basics. So if you guys are able to, definitely have your a piano keyboard like I have right over here. If you happen to have a piano keyboard at home, an actual piano, or if you don't have either one, okay, you can definitely take your tablet. I happen to have on my tablet, not right now at the second, but I don't have it up, but you can get a simulated piano keyboard. You just download the app for free. There are free apps, okay? And I happen to have one on this particular tablet. But I say a tablet more than a phone. I mean, you could do that on your phone as well, but because the phones are smaller, you won't be able to really practice the fingering technique that it takes in order to play. All right, and it sounds like an actual piano and everything, but if you're able to download it on a tablet, it's definitely much better because it gives you a lot more room again to practice technique when it comes to the fingers. Okay, so if you're able to do that, okay, when you get a chance, please do that, and then practice along with the video. But definitely nothing beats an actual piano or a piano keyboard. Definitely that is so much better. So I always recommend, I don't want to recommend a particular piano keyboard for you guys to get, but definitely shop around, try to get more bang for your buck, so to speak. For instance, I was able to buy a piano keyboard once from the thrift shop. Okay, mind you, it's a thrift shop, so it's a lot of things people that give away or throw away or whatever the case may be. But I found a good working Casio once, and I was able to actually one of my students' parents gave me the money, and I was able to actually buy it for them. And to this day, their Casio piano keyboard is still working and it's in good condition for the most part. So, it's one of those hidden treasures. You never know what you're going to find. And only for, at the time, it was only $11 and change for it. So they definitely go for more in the store, retail and all that. But like I said, shop around, look, see what you can get, and shop smart. Basically, do not, don't pay a whole lot of money just to get a piano keyboard. Just a sufficient 88 key piano keyboard should suffice. And again, try to get the most for your buck. Okay, but otherwise, guys, let's learn all about just some piano basics today. And we're going to, over the course of the weeks, we're actually going to get a lot more into it. And why? Because for you high schoolers, now some of you might have already taken piano. Maybe you've had piano classes already. But for some of us who are joining us, who are taking this class with me, you guys maybe know nothing about piano whatsoever. So I kind of have to start from the basics, and it'll be very not so much even for playing wise, but definitely when it comes to theory and composition, which is a lot of what we concentrate on when it comes to the high school level. You should be able to have some proficiency on the piano so that you can use this to write music. Okay, and the piano can be a very, very integral part of composing your own pieces, your own songs, and that type of thing. So let's get to learn a little bit about the piano today, and we're going to learn a lot of stuff about the piano, okay, throughout the course of the weeks. So get ready to go. Now, as you guys always know, I always do a hymnal at the beginning of class. A hymnal is a great mood setter, because it's about God, because He teaches us, and He allows us to be and to learn and to do all the things that we can do. So, I find myself very grateful and being able to praise God through the hymnals. But sacred music is also known scientifically, again, to really get the cognitive juices flowing, to really get your thinking skills going. So it's a benefit in so many ways. And why wouldn't it be? It was made up by the biggest genius ever, okay, which is our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So let's get right to it. First things first, of course, let's get right into stretches, okay, just to get limber up a little bit, and these stretches will be very helpful for the voice, as you've always known. So my students, everybody sit up nice and straight, shoulders relaxed, okay, make sure your back is straight, and everybody reach up into the sky as high as you can. Reach. Here we go. Stretch out that lower back as you reach, and everybody drop them and start rotating the shoulders back. There we go. Rotate them back. And now rotate them forward. Great. I had to sneeze a little bit, but don't worry, I'm fine, guys. Okay. Now that's all said and done. And here we go. Let's keep rotating, and you can stop that right there, and everybody start rotating the necks very slowly, my students. All right, nice and controlled movements, and everybody rotate in the other direction. All right. And everybody look all the way up. And look all the way down. And look all the way to your right. All the way to your left. And shrug and hold your shoulders, kind of like you're saying, I don't know. I'm here. I don't know. Okay, and drop them. And everybody, let's put our arms in front of us like this and start opening and closing our hands. Okay. Kind of getting that grip strength going, moving those fingers, dynamic movement, such a wonderful thing, right? Okay, open and close, and everybody squeeze now, squeeze and hold, and shake it out, and everybody take a deep breath in through your nose, deep breath out, once again, deep breath in, and deep breath out. Okay, here we go, let's get right to it. I forgot to mention this, but people who have watched me before, I always say grab, see if you can open up another window on your computer, laptop, your computer, or a tablet, or your phone to get the lyrics for Old Rugged Cross, the Old Rugged Cross. Type it on the Google search engine, the Old Rugged Cross lyrics, and that hymnal should pop up right away. And as you are able to look at the lyrics to that particular song, it's such a wonderful reminder of what God did for His people, and I find myself using that song as the picture of the cross is not something that we hold, that we look up and look at and idolize, of course, but we are reminded again of everything He's paid for His people, to have for God to save His people and for them to have the best. And so we pray and hope that we are part of His family, and that's again a great reminder of that. And this is why I like that song, like to sing it on the Sabbath with my family, and we just have a good time doing that. So have those lyrics handy, and you guys are going to sing along with me. Okay, do your best, and let's get right to it. This is once again the Old Rugged Cross. On a hill far away stood an old rugged cross, the emblem of suffering and shame. And I love that old cross, where the dearest and best for a world of lost sinners was slain. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown. To the old rugged cross I will ever be true. It's a shame and reproach gladly bear. Then you'll call me someday to my home far away, where His glory forever I'll share. And I'll cherish the old rugged cross till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown. And that was the old rugged cross. Everybody give yourselves a nice round of applause if you were able to do that. Okay, great job if you were able to keep up with the song. But if you weren't, if you had a little bit of a hard time doing that, that's okay. All you have to do is replay that video, have the lyrics handy, and just practice. Practice and repetition, the key to musical success, okay? All right, guys. So now it's time for the core of our lessons. Piano basics, something that we really haven't done, okay? Piano, as I said before, is such an integral, very important part when it comes to writing music. See, I was told by my professors when I was in high school that that the piano is such a thing that is necessary for all students of music going to the college. Okay, so you know, I was going to be a music teacher, so for a lot of for obvious reasons, it almost seems like, okay, that's obviously why I have to learn the piano as a secondary instrument. But there were also other students who were proficient in their own particular instrument coming into the college, okay, and didn't understand why they were still also making it part of their curriculum, part of their course load, is that they had to know also piano. Okay, they had to take piano lab as one of those requirements. And you know, they might have been majoring in performance and all they wanted to do is perform their actual instrument, but they made it a necessity, a very necessary for them, for every music student, to learn the piano as a secondary instrument, even if they were just majoring in performance. And why? Why, you may ask? Because I was told by my professors a long time ago that the piano is like the PC, the programmable computer for every musician, because you have all the keys laid out for you, you know, for composition, especially for composition purposes, for arranging. You know, that means arranging, meaning taking a song and making it different, okay, making it slightly different while still keeping the essence or the intended melody of the song and a lot of the other harmonic parts and things like that. But if you were going to write music, okay, this particular instrument can tune other instruments. There's a lot of guitarists actually that take the piano and tune their strings to the using the piano as a guide. Every note that they play, okay, the piano is, you know, literally orchestration. All, you know, having all the ranges of the different instruments all literally at your fingertips. Okay, so that's why I thought it very necessary, since we're getting into composition and we're trying to write for other instruments, for other singers and things like that. while we're trying to do that, we should have some knowledge, some basic knowledge of the piano, and being able to navigate around and find notes, find the ranges, to be able to write for other instruments, for other voices and things like that. All right. So what I'm about to do, guys, is, get to your piano keyboards. Okay. We're going to go over some basic techniques when it comes to the piano, and then technique is very important because technique will allow us to, now, I'm not trying to play play everything now, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't take piano lessons and things like that to really get better at playing. But technique is important so that we can use our fingers in a way that allows us to be flexible and to be and to be able to play things in rhythm, to get a good sense of rhythm while we are trying to write. That's the idea. Okay, so I'm going to bring camera over to the piano in a little bit, but let's go over a couple of things as far as posture is concerned. So you see me facing my piano keyboard right now. Okay, kind of facing my piano keyboard. I need you guys to make sure that where you're sitting at your piano keyboard, make sure your backs are straight. Posture is such a important thing, something that I reiterate a lot. Okay, make sure that your feet are flat on the floor. Okay, flat on the floor. Posture with your back, shoulders relax. Okay, and when you do place your fingers on the piano, okay, you're going to make sure that they are curved. The fingers are curved yet firm, where the fingertips are touching the keys. Okay, they're touching the keys, but they're curved yet firm. And meanwhile, the wrist you're going to keep up and even. Okay, so you see how I have that right now? You take a look at my little side profile. Okay, I'm laying my fingertips right on top. We shouldn't see this where the fingers are going flat. Okay, this doesn't really help when it comes to technique or even just control over your digits. Control over the notes that you want to play. In order to really make sure you have complete control, okay, make sure your technique is on point. The wrist is up and even. Your fingers are curved yet firm, and the fingertips are touching. You're not even necessarily playing just yet, okay? But when you're able to play, when you do play, watch what I do. I use finger strength, the fingers, to actually play the notes. Do not get into this habit where people use your wrist as a fulcrum, okay, where they use this action when it comes to playing, okay, or flailing the fingers about when they play. That is not technique. That's not appropriate technique, and it actually does a lot of unnecessary movement and makes your hand, very rigid and tough, where you start to, whatever you intend to do, and rhythmically, you're not going to be able to accomplish. Okay, and practices can kind of go awry when you don't use the right technique. So always use this form. Okay, curve your firm fingers, wrist up and even, and utilize finger strength whenever you're playing notes on the piano. Okay, always wrist up and even. Maintain that throughout, and you will definitely be able to play with proficiency. Okay, but let's get a bird's eye view right now of my piano keyboard. So bear with me. I'm gonna move my camera up a bit. Okay, so here we go. All right, let me just straighten that out. Okay, and I think, just so that we are okay, I'm gonna mention some things about letter names on the piano keyboard. Okay, so you guys get to know some of this stuff. Okay, but take a very good look. Now, first things first, when it comes to the piano, okay, let's focus on middle C. Everybody say that, middle C. Okay, now how do we find middle C? What is that about? Okay, every note here basically has a letter name. All right, but what we're going to focus on is going right to finding the two black keys. As you can see, all the black keys here are in a particular format: 2 and 3 and 2 and 3 and 2 and 3, all throughout. That's one thing that you'll notice. So don't be overwhelmed by all the different keys that you have there. Okay, but think of that. 2, and 3 format that every piano has, right? And we're going to look for the one in the middle of the piano keyboard, okay? So you have the 2 black keys here, then the white key just before it. I'm playing it right now. And if you're at your piano, yeah, play it with me. Don't be afraid. Yeah, just play it right there. That happens to be our middle C. Okay. So our middle C, and don't worry, I'm using a dry erase marker. I can definitely easily erase it if I need to. But again, let me write that for you. That is our middle C. Okay. So our middle C is going to be our bestest friend in the entire world. In fact, if you recall, maybe you should go back into my channel, the Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy channel on YouTube, okay, the YouTube channel, where there was a lesson long time ago where we learned how to read notes, okay, on the staff, on the treble clef staff and the bass clef staff. And I talked about this particular note right here, our middle C, okay, our middle C, which I love to refer to it as the equator, the equator latitudinal line of the globe. This is the equator of the music world. Okay, hold on a second. I'm getting a knock at the door. Okay.
Look at the comments.
Okay, I was just instructed to look at some comments here. Let me see. Okay, I'm glad that you guys are writing comments. Let me take a look here. Uh, This is from Avijit Sharma. Okay, hello, welcome. This is how do I identify what chord fits in song? Okay, you're asking how do you identify? She asked, how do you identify what chord fits in songs? I can figure out the melody by noticing the increasing and decreasing note, but can't identify chords. And then you also said, don't know if you're taking questions from YouTube. Okay. Well, okay, Abhijit, once again, welcome. Okay, thank you very much for putting that comment. I definitely welcome questions. Okay, I'll try to answer everybody's questions as best as I can as we go along, maybe even before the end of this class. Okay, I'll definitely say this. I'm focusing mainly on just some piano basics, just kind of an introduction on piano. So when you say how do you identify the chord, to identify what chord fits in songs, well, that's definitely going to be a more detailed lesson when it comes to that. Basically, identifying the chords, and this is why I'm actually doing the piano lesson right here, because I want us to get a very good understanding of, how we can find chords and play them on the piano. So it's good that we get into this basic type of thing right over here. Um, Basically, once we're able to kind of put an understanding of what's on the keys, and then put it onto the music staff paper, being able to write them down. Okay. And Abhijit, you'll really definitely benefit by becoming a member, if you can, on patreon.com/slash Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy, where I've done some worksheets. Okay. And this is what, for all Patreon members, I supply worksheets. I put worksheets there to work on, and I've had previous lessons on being able to identify, for instance, the C chord and its many versions. I've done a few versions of the C chord: the C major, the C minor, C diminished, C augmented. Okay. So identifying the notes is going to take, first of all, understanding where all the different letter names fit into on the piano keyboard. Okay. And once we're able to do that, how do they connect to the musical staff, and then being able to write them down? So that's why I'm really going over the basics over here. Not even so, folks, not so much for proficiency, even though some proficiency can come at, but being able to again identify every note and then build chords from there, build chords and harmony and that type of thing. You also said on the question there, I can figure out the melody by noticing the increasing and decreasing notes, but can't identify. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, so when you see the melody, and folks, when you see melody reading on a music staff paper from left to right, okay, you do tend to see, how it increases in pitch by the notes one note after the other, from left to right, reading it from left to right, seeing where they go up on the staff. So that means they're increasing in pitch, and then they start to decrease in pitch when you see the notes start declining, or declining downward, okay, following the note heads of those notes. But as far as the chords are concerned, you can kind of see that too. I'm trying to see, actually. Hold on a second. I think I might even have an example that I could be able to show you guys. I'm just thumbing through my my manuscript paper. Okay. It's not the best example. I'll say this. It's not the best example. Hold on. Okay. This is a very light example. I'm gonna. I'll just warn you right now. Okay. Okay. So everybody, take a good look. So here we go. Okay. So here, for example, I have a chord written over here. Okay. And this is a C major chord. Okay, with in the bass clef as well as in the treble clef. Then when you make your, and this is just the first measure here, okay? When we make our way over to the next measure, see if we can get a little closer. Sorry about that. But if we can get a little bit closer, here's where it gets interesting. I start doing a different version of this same C major chord, okay? Where now over here, well, let's backtrack a little. We have the root, which is your fifth finger, the third, and then the fifth, okay? Now, why do I have 5, 3, 1 over here? Because that's your fingering. These are the fingers, okay? And then same thing over here, 1, 3, and 5. Your 1/3 and first, third, and fifth finger. But I have the root, third, and the fifth, the C, E, and the G in the left hand, and then the C, E, and the G in the right hand. Okay. But then when we go over to the next measure, okay, now over here, I leave out the third in the left hand, right? But keep the root and the fifth. I keep the C, I keep the G, okay, only playing it with my fifth finger and my first finger. And then I keep the E and the G for my third and fifth finger, but I leave out the middle C. This is actually middle C right here. So I leave it out completely, okay? And why? Because as long as I still have a root, I have the fifth kind of repeated somewhere, but definitely I include the third, and the third is probably a very integral part of the chord. It's like I like to refer to it as the meat to the sandwich. Okay, it's the middle part. So I have the third included in the top part, but not here. But it's still included as an overall part of the entire chord. Basically, all these notes piled up on top of each other, so to speak, in a column, so in a way, like in a column, right, allows us to play these notes in unison at the same time. Okay, so in other words, take a very good look again from the first measure, how it changes into the second measure, still the same chord, but just kind of a different version of it. Okay, and then when we come over here into the next measure, watch this. We come into the next measure. Now we're keeping still some other aspects, still having the root at the very bottom in the bass clef in the left hand. Okay. Now I include the third, but I don't include the G over here in the fifth. But on the top in the right hand, I now put back the middle C, but I don't include the third, the E here, but I include the fifth. Okay, so notice the progression from different it's the same chord, but into the different measures and making them different versions of the same exact chord. Okay, in actuality, you want to hear what it sounds like. Okay, in the left hand, I have the C major chord. Then in the right hand, that's in the first measure right there. First measure, C major chord. So when I play those, I play them at the same time. Okay, but then in the next measure, I let go of the middle C in the right hand, but only play the third and the fifth. But then I play the root and the 5th here and leave out the 3rd, and then you have this. So I went from all those notes to then this version of C major. Okay, and then in the 3rd measure there, now I switch it up, root and 5th in the right hand, but root and 3rd in the left. And at the same time, it sounds like this. Okay, so I went from this to this and then this. Not much difference, except for, taking away some notes, but adding them in and making sure they're included in the other parts from bass to treble clef. Okay, now, again, this is a very light example. Okay, but once we know where they're written in the particular in the succession of the staff, okay, if we were to, here we go, if we were to then go from the C major, from there, take a look. I'm going to add this in to the D major, okay, for example. Okay, I'm going to add the D major here and over here in the right and left hand. Okay, treble and bass clef, right hand, left hand. Okay, so now if you make that comparison from this first measure, look at where they're located in comparison to here. Here we have D, and I'm going to have F sharp here. Add in the sharp, and add in the sharp here for the F sharp, D, F sharp, A. All right. Okay. So it went from this to this. Actually, I'm going to put them right next to each other. I'm going to bring this chord back over here, so you can see them very close to each other this time. Okay. Oh, what am I doing? Oh my goodness. Ignore that. I didn't mean to do a sharp there. Okay, but C, E, and G, C, E, and G. Okay, so take a good look from one chord to the other. Here's D. Here's where it descends from D to C, F sharp to E, A to G, and the same thing over here. Okay, A to G is just from A to G on that line is just a step down to that space. Here, line to the space, F sharp to E, and then D to C. So now we have a descending. You see how they descend one from the other? Okay, if you take a really good look at that descending, that descension from each note, okay, you can, if you look at that very carefully when you're looking at a piece of a piece of music, Miss Sharma, okay, you'll be able to then identify, okay, that's what you're trying to do, identify the chords. So you're going from a D major chord to a C major chord, okay? So when we play that, when we look at that that descension from each note in the chord, okay, here's D, F sharp, A, D, F sharp, A. So we're actually, what this is telling us, as we descend each note for the chords there, we're going from here and then stepping over one, just sliding over, really, sliding over next door to each note as such. Okay, so you have that D, F sharp, A, and that F. And why do I call that F sharp? Oh boy, what happened to my, there's my marker. Okay, why do we call this F sharp? Because this is an actual F. This is the regular F note. When we go up a half step to the black key, that is known as our F sharp. Okay, it's taking this regular F and raising it a half a step. Okay, here's our F sharp here. F, and this is F sharp. Okay, and let's get some letter names here. So C, D, E, F, G, and A. I'll do that much. And same thing, C, D, E, F, G, and A. Okay, so what we have here is our D major chord, D, F sharp, A, and we play it in unison. That's at the same time all together. Okay, then the descension into the C major chord. Every note is a step down. So we go here, then to C, E, G, and we play it in unison because they're piled up on top of each other. Okay? So that's how that goes. In brief, that's how that goes, guys. Okay. So hopefully, Miss Sharma, I was able to answer your question there. Okay. But it really does take, again, if I do a little close up, it really does take looking at every note in the space and looking at the dissension of where they're going. And this is just one way. This is just one way, mind you. Okay. Most of the time with chords, you're not going to have, when the chords follow a particular pattern in the music, they're not always going to descend a step down or even a step up. Okay. There's going to be a lot of skips going around. You might have a C major chord and then go all the way, see where the G is, and then have to build a G major chord in the next measure like this. So then you would have G, B, D right there. It would be from here to here, and it would skip all the way up, or even a more drastic movement. It really just depends. It really depends on the harmony that it's going. But a lot of times the melody can kind of dictate where the harmony needs to go, or sometimes the harmony can dictate where the melody needs to go. They kind of work hand in hand. Actually, most of the time I like to focus on the harmony part so that I can build my melody around the harmony. And why? Because then that melody can basically go with all the other notes that are included in that harmony so that they sound very good together. Okay, that's the trick with harmony. That's what we're dealing with when it comes to chords. That they have to sound correct together. The melody has to sound correct with the harmony. Now, I've got to a lot of you guys. I probably went over the heads a little bit. There's a lot, and I'll definitely revisit this type of thing. But I definitely wanted to answer Miss Sharma's question regarding that. So if anybody during our lesson ever has any other questions regarding that, you please, yeah, feel free. That's why I left that open. Okay, to ask questions during in the live chat there. All right, but now look what I did, guys. I'm going to add two letter names over here. I'm going to add a B in this side and a B on this side, and also this high C. Okay, so notice every two black keys here, the white key before it is the middle C. This is in the middle of the keyboard, right? So now when we go over to our left, we have another pair of two black keys, right? We have the 3, then the 2, and what's before it? A C. Same thing on this side. We have the two black keys on the right, high, and then the white key just before it is high C. This was our middle C, which sounds lower. This is our high C, which is an octave, which is 8 notes apart. Okay, same over here, 8 notes apart, known as an octave. Remember that word, octave. Okay, and that's how we can find every C on on the piano keyboard. And again, this is exactly why I said at the beginning of the class that middle C is our bestest friend in the entire world when it comes to music. Whenever we can find middle C, we can find all the other letter names, everything else, whenever we're lost. Okay, so again, be friends. If you're a musician, be friends with middle C. Okay, middle C will never let you down when it comes to that. Okay, now I'm going to kind of take this away so we don't confuse you. I don't confuse you guys. But let's get back to some of the basics that I want, the basics that I did want to show you today. So again, we found middle C. This is to say that our musical alphabet, and I've mentioned this in a previous lesson when it comes to reading the notes on this music staff, is that it goes from A through G. It goes A B C D E F G, A B C D E F G, and it goes on and on and on, even from low. A B C D E F G, A B C. Okay, it just goes over and over again. So again, the musical alphabet is from A through G. Okay, now the technique I would like to show you just to get, sorry, excuse me, I keep kicking my tripod. Okay, the technique I would like to show you, okay, and by the way, review this video again so that, because they especially for our Patreon members, those excuse me, the worksheet that I'm going to supply is going to be asking you to identify these particular notes, okay, on the piano keyboard. So Patreon members, look out for that on the dashboard. Okay, but now that we find middle C, I want to focus on the two black keys over here in terms of technique. I talked about technique before, and so this is an exercise I want you guys to do. Remember, your fingers are curved yet firm. Okay, and your wrist is up and even like I have now. Now, our fingers, okay, and I'm going to refer to our digits a lot, our fingers in terms of numbers. So everybody put your fingers up like this, and your thumbs are your first finger. That's number 1. Your index is number 2. Your middle is number 3. Your ring finger is number 4, and your pinkies are number 5. So we wiggle our 1s, our 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s. Okay. Now, with our right hand, back to the two black keys, you're going to put your 1 and your 2, thumb and index, right here on the two black keys. And so what you're going to do from here is you're going to play with your thumb and index. You're going to play 1, 2, 1, 2, and then off. Okay, so everybody do that with me. Ready? Again, place your fingers on the piano like so and play 1, 2, 1, 2. Use finger strength. Okay, remember, none of this but this. Okay, here we go. On my count. 1, 2, and ready. Let's play it. And 1, 2, 1, 2, and everybody off. So it's just 1, 2 twice. That's all we're doing there. Okay. Do the same thing. Keep your right hand where it is, okay? All the other fingertips are kind of resting on the other keys, but you're not playing them. You're just resting them there, okay? And you want to do the same thing now in your left hand. Your first finger on this black key and your second finger on this one. But this time in the left hand, you're going to play your second finger first. 2, 1, 2, 1. You do that twice, and then that's off, okay? Here we go. All the other fingers are curved yet firm. Tips are resting on the other keys. Wrists are up. Okay, let's play our left hand. Here we go on my count. 1, 2, and ready. Left hand, second finger first, and 2, 1, 2, 1, and off. Okay, let's play them at the same time now. It's 2, 1 in the left, 1, 2 on the right. Okay, fingers curved yet again. Okay, wrists up and even, and I'm gonna count you in. So we go me first, 1, dun, da, 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 and then off. Okay, starting going from left to right. But again, I know I'm doing this, but don't move your wrists in playing that. Again, finger strength. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, both hands at the same time. Here we go. And okay, and then off. And that's again going from your left note to the right note, left to the right. Okay, now from there, keep your right. We're keeping our fingers right where they are, but you're going to slide over inward just a little bit. Okay, you're going to slide over to the same, your different fingers to the same exact keys, so that now you have your third finger, which is your middle finger, and your index finger touching those two notes. However, when you play them in order, you're going to play the left note first, then the right note. Okay, in the left hand, it's the middle, then index. Okay, the third, then 1, then 2, and then 3. I'm sorry, 2 and 3 in the right hand, but playing it at the same time. Left, right, left, right. Okay, just like so. Everybody, let's play that together on my count. 1, 2, and ready. Let's play. And off. Okay, now we still have our second and third finger on these two same black keys. We're going to now move it another smidget over inward, kind of this way, So now we have our fourth finger and our third finger in the left, while it's the third finger and then the fourth finger on the right. So it's 3 4 3 4, right hand, left hand, 4 3 4 3. But we're going to play them together at the same time in unison. Okay, so now at the same time from left to right. Here we go. 1, 2, and ready. Let's play it. And okay, I kind of messed up there. Let me do that again. Here we go. And 1, 2, ready, and play. And okay, I don't know what's with me today. Being funny in the left hand. This wasn't happening to me the other day. But listen, hey, from day to day, nothing's perfect. We always make mistakes. Then it's our job to kind of learn from them. Okay, improvement comes with repetition, guys. Okay, remember that. Now, from there, one last time, you're gonna move your hands inward. Okay, you're just gonna move them over. Okay, where now you have your fourth finger in the right, then your fifth finger, your pinky, okay? And then in the left hand, fifth finger, fourth finger. So it's in the right hand 4 5 4 5, while the left hand is 5 4 5 4. But we're putting it together from left to right, okay? Back and forth. Here we go. Let's do it together, guys. On my count. 1, 2, and ready. Let's play it. And off. Okay. So basically, guys, actually shake your hands out in case you felt a little bit of tension there after having them right there. I know I kind of feel it in my shoulders a little bit because I'm sort of extending with the camera right in front of me so that you guys can get the view. But that's okay. I'll sacrifice the strain in my shoulders so that you guys can see what you need to do there. Okay. So the drill that I showed you basically to utilize technique, get a handle on that. And guys, it's awkward right now. It's awkward, but the more we practice it, the better the less awkward it's going to feel. Okay, here we go. We're going to start off again, first and second finger on each hand from left to right. Then you're going to go in succession from there. After we do that twice, then you're going to go to the next. Keep going, left, right, and then again, move over, left, right, and last move over, left, right to end it. Okay, you're gonna do that about 10 times a day, guys. That'll help you get your dexterity going when it comes to this. Okay, let's try it together once. Okay, on my count, left to right, and then twice, and then move over, and then keep going. Okay. Do not stop until I cut you off. Here we go. From the beginning. 1, 2, and ready. Let's play. And left, right, and left, right. Move over, left, right, left, right. Move again and left, right, left, right. Last time. Move over, left, right, left, right, and off. Okay. And that would be just one repetition. You want to do this 10 times, 10 times a day. Okay. Stick to that regimen. And then eventually, that dexterity drill is definitely going to come together, feel more natural to you. Okay. But again, always remember sitting up straight in posture, feet on the floor. Okay. Back straight, shoulders relaxed, always. Wrists are up and even, fingers are curved yet firm, fingertips just kind of waiting there until it's time to play. And use your finger strength, no wrist strength, finger strength. Okay, every time you play anything on the piano. All right, let's bring the camera now back to me so I can talk to you guys. And that was the basics that I wanted to show you today. If you guys were able to follow along with that, great job. Give yourselves a nice round of applause. Okay. Again, if you found this awkward, which it's supposed to be in the beginning, guys, it's supposed to be awkward. If you found this a little bit awkward, go back to the video, press play again, and practice. That's how you're going to get better. And we're definitely going to get more in depth with recognizing notes, chords, as Ms. Sharma was asking before, and things like that as it applies to the piano, and kind of bridge that gap from using the piano, our main tuning instrument, to be able to write songs, to be better at writing songs. Okay, the piano is the very necessary tool that every musician should use when it comes to that. Okay. But great job today, guys. Great job in saying. I know we probably went. Oh yeah, we definitely went a little bit over our class time, but that's okay. It's all in the name of learning and fun, guys. And I can't wait to see how well you guys progress when it comes to this. Okay. Once again, my Patreon members, look out on the dashboard for the worksheet that'll be coming. Okay, soon. For this, and then do the worksheet, okay, to get more and more proficient in our skills and our understanding of these concepts. And everyone else also, practice what we did today. We will get into more of that stuff definitely in the next week and in the other upcoming weeks. I'd like to give my general shout outs to my friends all over the world who watch. Okay, friends like people in Japan and China and in India and in the Philippines. Okay, my friends in the UK and Australia, in South America and the United States, and everywhere else that I didn't mention. Thank you, my friends, for tuning in and joining me and learning with me, guys. Okay, great job once again. Give yourselves a nice round of applause. Okay, and as always, my friends, I wish you happy practicing. Everybody, take care and have yourselves a great day. See you next time. Bye-bye.